Today I'm speaking with Carolyn Williams, a youth hockey coach for the Chicago Hawks Youth Ice Hockey Club and one of our WHL ambassadors. Welcome, Carolyn. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, Ashley. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So just to get started, you played for UConn's Division II women's ice hockey team. What was that like being a student athlete?
Yeah, so I actually got to play for their ACHA team, which is D2. And that was really lucky. Not a lot of schools have both NCAA and ACHA programs. So it was a really great opportunity for me to be able to play a little bit less intense and competitive program than NCAA. So I got to balance athletics and a lot of other stuff in a different way. And I had a great time with it. I missed it a lot. I miss getting to play competitive hockey like that. And I know it's hard without it now. But yeah, it was really great. My childhood best friend that I grew up playing hockey with went to UConn as well, and we played together on that team. So we got to do a whole hockey career together, which was really fun.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's definitely a unique experience that I know not a lot of people have. So can you recall like a favorite memory you have from playing on the hockey team?
There were a couple nights where we got the really late ice slot, like the 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. ice slot, which is hard. In college, you think you're really tough and you can stay up super late. I feel so soft now, but practices were some of the most fun ones because we were all there. It was late. We just we felt tired, like getting dressed in the locker room, but then the energy on the ice was just something that I haven't really found anywhere else because, we were all kind of in this bad experience together and we just played a lot of games and everybody was so happy to be there no matter what time we were able to be on the ice.
Well, that's certainly awesome. So moving forward, once you stopped playing college hockey, did you ever like continue playing like a rec league or anything like that or any pickup hockey?
Yeah, so after college, I actually moved out to California and I played a season in the adult league that they have out there, which is mostly just a men's league. And that was pretty fun, but it's a different vibe than college hockey, a little different vibe than women's hockey for sure. And so I took a little bit of a break from that and just focused on coaching. And about a year and a half ago, I moved to Chicago and I was playing just random pickup or like Gretzky hour open ice hockey for a while to work on my own skills because I like to practice and maintain those if I'm going to be coaching them to other players. So,
Right.
Yeah, COVID has put a little bit of a stop on that. And I would love to play on a women's team and get back into a bit more competitive play. So I'm hoping next season that will happen.
Is there any women's teams in Chicago that play competitively on the same level as the men's leagues?
That's a great question, actually. I have not done a ton of research in that area yet. There are women's teams out here, and I've talked to a couple of them. I'm not quite sure what level they play at, but I do know it's growing, and I hope that more women's teams at a range of levels come out so we can kind of build that same like really wide scope that men's league has, from first-time adult players to people who played in college. So.
Yeah, I found that it's definitely harder to find a women's dedicated league, not co-ed, but definitely just women. It's definitely a lot harder. So what made you want to become a youth hockey coach?
I started coaching because I was not ready to give up the hockey world. I was like, well, I'm not a pro, so what's left for me to do? And I started coaching when I was in California, and I fell in love with it. It was just like so much fun. I didn't think I would like getting up super early every Saturday morning, but you could not tear me away from the rink. It was just like such a natural fit. I think I love being able to use my creativity and as a coach, you're put in all these situations where things change constantly and you have to be able to adapt to that. And so it really keeps you on your toes. I love a high energy work environment, and that's just checking all the boxes of what it's like, teaching people to skate, not coaching youth hockey. And, when I was in California, I found myself spending, more time at the rink than at the full-time job that I was working over there, because I just kept going every day. So when I moved to Chicago, I made the decision to coach full-time. And it just felt like the right place for me. Unfortunately, not the right time. As I mentioned earlier, COVID really has been challenging. So that's okay. It's on pause for a little bit, but that is one of my goals. I would love to be able to coach full-time, be in the hockey role full-time.
Nice. Nice. So what is the most rewarding part about coaching young female athletes?
Ooh, there's so many things. I love working with female athletes because when you get to teach them a skill and they try it a couple times and then they succeed at it, and to watch the joy and excitement come over them when they're able to do something correctly, or what you were trying to show them, and it all clicks, it's the best feeling as a coach, because it's this empowerment that they get on the ice. That's like, wow, I can do that. I saw someone in the NHL do that, or I saw one of like our, U18 boys do that, and now they're doing it. And it brings them to this new level of confidence that I can see when they step off the ice as well. They've learned these new skills, and maybe they're not even that difficult, but the fact that they did them by themselves, they walk off the ice and they're like, yeah, I play hockey. I know what I'm doing. And it's the best thing. I love helping young female athletes feel really good about themselves through the sport that they play.
That's awesome. I can't imagine how that would feel to teach somebody something and then to see them actually get it and they feel so happy. I know that must make you feel really good too.
I have to say, when girls learn to lift the puck for the first time, that's like one of my favorite moments. Like a centimeter off the ice, and they're like, "Did you see it? Did you see it? It went up in the air."
That's awesome. So shifting focus, what would be the hardest part that you would say is about coaching?
The hardest part, let's do non-COVID first. The hardest part about coaching, I would say, is helping some athletes recognize what tangible goals are and helping them reach them at a very appropriate pace. So a lot of players, it's great that they watch NHL and pro level games, but then they get really frustrated and they beat themselves up if they're not able to do the things that they see these other players do. And so it's all about being able to shift the perspective of, appreciating where you are now and the path it takes to get to that point. And that's a hard thing to teach, because you can't really tell somebody like, it's okay, you'll get there. That doesn't really sit great. And, It doesn't work for me either. When someone tells me that, I'm like, yeah, okay. So it takes a lot of patience and just a lot of, reminding to focus on the positives and that we're here to practice and that's how we get there. And that takes a lot as a coach, just trying to create a really good environment for people to succeed in.
Right. And also, so you've touched on this a couple of times. So how are you dealing with COVID as a coach? I know like hockey was still going on and then COVID was like, nope, it's over. So how are you dealing with that? And what was going through your mind when things started shutting down?
When things started shutting down, I remember it like very distinctly on March 12th last year, like the NHL closed and I got a text from my friend and she was like, this is it. And I was like, oh no. But the very first couple of weeks, it was just like a ton of emails, and I felt really stressed because my players were looking for answers. They wanted to know like, well, when are we going to get back on the ice? Like, are we going to play a game? What's going to happen? It timed out to be like right around playoffs for the youth hockey season.
Yeah.
And there was just all these unknowns that I wanted to be there and answer them, but I didn't have an answer either. So that was really hard. And that actually helped me shift my focus this season to be equally as important mental health. So that's something that is starting to come out a little bit more within youth sports, but still not as prevalent as I think it should be. So with my team this season, we've spent a lot of time talking about mental health. I've used a lot of material from Dr. Tiff, who's a really awesome resource. I really recommend her to everybody. But it's been a really important thing to rely on, because as our schedule, unfolded this year, we would close for 2 weeks, we would open for a month, we would close again. And it was so uncertain and unpredictable that it was really hard for girls to feel like we were making any sort of progress. And that just was like taking a big toll on everybody's mental health. Will I be next year? Will I make a better team next year? All of that. So yeah, that's been a really tricky part, but we've been trying to incorporate a lot more conversations about how we're feeling, about what's going on, about what we can do right now with what we have.
Right. And that's so important, because I feel like COVID definitely made everybody focus, like, what can you do now? Don't think about 6 months from now, because we don't know what anything is going to look like then either. So definitely, I think that's a big takeaway from what you just said. And then did you do any like online trainings with your athletes?
Yeah. So I over the summer, I ran some off-ice workouts with a group of girls that I worked with in California, actually, which was really fun to spend some time with them, even though I was in Chicago. And then we've been, with my team here, we've been doing off-ice workouts on Zoom, which has it's been really great, but also really funny sometimes. Kids are hilarious. I've had a couple really, I'm the head coach of my 14U team, but I also work with 10s and 12s. And some of the 10s that have hopped on for our workouts just crack me up, because they're always like, I need water, I'm super thirsty, wait, hold on, this is really hard. And they're like, I'm sweating. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. So that part's been really fun. And while it's not always great to be virtual, it's been kind of nice to mix that in a little bit. Sometimes for my team, for the 14U, I would just set up a Zoom call and then leave, and they would just talk for like 30 minutes by themselves. I would just be like, okay, bye. And then it's nice. I think I enjoyed getting to like hang out and see each other. There would be this awkward 10-second pause in the beginning, and then one of them would be like, okay, guess what happened? And they go in.
That's awesome. And I also heard that you helped arrange a special surprise for your U14 team. So can you tell our audience about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I think you're talking about when I invited Kendall Coyne to come skate with us. Yeah, that was cool. So I was trying to think of ways, since we had no idea if we were going to play any games this season. I was trying to think of ways to add some exciting things to our schedule, since, scrimmaging each other is only cool so many weekends in a row. So I reached out to Kendall Coyne Schofield through her website, and she was so generous to get back to me. She's from this area in Illinois. And I didn't tell any of the girls. Kendall just showed up one day, and she was putting on her skates. And then I think it was one of my 12U players was like, who is that? And I was like, check it out. Kendall just is so amazing. She was on our ice for both sessions with all 3 of our teams. Wow. She was with all of our girls. She got involved in the drills, scrimmaged a little bit with our 14s, which was great, because our 14s were like, wow, that's okay. Like, she's over here, we're over here. She spent time afterwards taking pictures. She signed everything. She brought her medal. So it was just such an incredible experience. I was like starstruck a little bit, but I tried to keep it cool. And I felt really lucky that she was willing to come do that for us. And she signed so many of my girls' jerseys that when I see them at practice with her signature and the number 26 on the back, it's just such a happy memory. So, it was just a really wonderful thing that she did for us. And I'm so glad we were able to make it happen this year.
That's awesome. I'm sure for all of the girls, that's going to be one of those memories where they're just going to be like, wow, my coach brought Kendall Coyne to the ice, and it was amazing. Like, I feel like that's gonna be that
So.
memory forever. It's definitely gonna be one of those things that they're gonna bring up in conversation if they can. So
Yeah.
also, so I know you mentioned like full-time coaching was hard during COVID. So do you have another profession outside of coaching that you were doing this year?
Yeah, so right now I'm actually working as an ABA therapist in Chicago. So I work with kids who have autism right now.
Okay.
So yeah, it's actually a surprising amount of overlap and similarities between that and coaching. You know, it takes a lot of
Oh, wow.
creativity, a lot of patience, and a lot of high energy to keep everybody happy and going all the
Right.
time. So it's been a really wonderful addition right now during this time. And, while I do enjoy it, I am really looking forward to becoming, a full-time coach and
Right.
being able to give everything I have to hockey. So, but yeah, it's been great so far. And it's actually, added a couple of new skills to my skill set as well. So
Nice. So has that job been hard doing during COVID as well? Been any like restrictions with that type of job or?
yeah, it has been a little challenging because, we're working with kids in person, face to
Okay.
face. So we just have to take a lot of extra precautions, be very
Right.
careful about mask wearing, cleaning everything,
Mhm.
contact tracing if anything happens, being very observant for symptoms. So it
Right.
has definitely presented some challenges, but just like a lot of the other service industries that are, still existing right now and still having to fight through, it's you have to find ways to make it as safe as you possibly can. So
Right. Right. That's awesome. So now I want to get into our rapid fire questions. So are you ready for these?
oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. So starting off, who is the best player that you ever played against?
Hmm. This is not very rapid fire. I'm very sorry.
That's okay.
All right, well, here. One time, a long time ago, I went to a summer camp for hockey in Vermont, and there was a girl there. I don't remember her name, I don't remember her number, but I was so intimidated by her on the first day because she just annihilated me on the ice and everything that we did. But I was with, we played against each other the whole week. And over time, I started to really enjoy the process because when you're up against somebody who's a lot better than you, it forces you to play at a higher level. So
Right.
I'm sorry I don't remember this girl's name, but if you're out there, thank you for that because you really flipped a switch for me.
Okay, next question. Your favorite hockey team?
I'm a Boston Bruins fan.
Okay. And your favorite hockey player?
My favorite hockey player is actually Cami Granato. So I was
Nice.
thinking about this recently, and uh, when I first started playing hockey and I signed up for USA Hockey, I got my first like magazine in the mail from them, and it was this feature on the USA women's team, and I cut out all the pictures of her. And so I had like 5 pictures of Cami Granato on my wall right when I was starting to play hockey. And I just thought it was so cool that she had a ponytail too and was so fast and like hit people over. So yeah, she's my player that I've been admiring for a long time.
That's awesome. And your favorite meal before you had a hockey game?
Oh, pasta. Anything
Nice.
pasta.
Nice. And then the best thing that happened to you during the pandemic?
I actually had my wedding during the pandemic. I got married this
Nice.
year.
Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's a TV show that you binge watched during quarantine?
Um, I actually just finished Bridgerton, and
Oh,
I
yes.
did not think I was gonna love it, but my friend Grace told me to watch it, and I got hooked. It was
It's
I
it's
waited
such a
to
good
continue.
show. It's such a good show. So, okay, hockey movies, The Mighty Ducks or Miracle on Ice?
Miracle.
Okay. Night Owl or Early Bird?
Mm, I would love to be a night out, but I'm probably an early bird.
Okay, and the last one, first place you want to visit when COVID is over?
Oh, I would love to go anywhere in Europe. I've
Nice.
been looking at Sweden or the Czech Republic right now. So
Nice.
yeah, going abroad.
Nice. So thank you so much for taking the time out to just come on our little IGTV series. We really appreciate it. And I had so much fun talking with you today. Can you tell our audience where that they can follow you on Instagram?
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed getting to chat with you too. You can follow me at Carolyn Williams Hockey, and I try my best to post up to date and hopefully with more on ice videos coming soon. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.